the conversion rate on those pages is very low. At that time, I did not even understand what conversion rate means. So I asked him what it means, and he asked me to go ahead and check the web logs. What web logs are, we will go ahead and talk about in a while. But while scanning the web logs for the very first time, I understood the real meaning of putting customer in the center of universe. We all do talk about this, that we need to be customer centric and all that. But at the very same time, we do not really go ahead and do that more often than not. uh, Whenever we are going ahead and creating any kind of a digital platform, we expect people to go from page A to page B to page C to page D, E, F, G, H, so on and so forth. But customers can go from page A to page D, come back to page B, go to page F, come back to page C, because their expectations, their aspirations from our platforms, their requirements from our businesses is a lot different from what we try to perceive from development and from platform and from product teams perspective. So for the very first time, uh, I realized the power of understanding what my customers actually do, and that's how my journey towards analytics started. And did that for a while, and then in the middle, I realized that maybe this field has got to do more with marketing than technology, which it seems from the face of it. So I did my MBA from Lucknow, came back, and since then worked in organizations like eBay, Adobe Systems, WNS, and right now I'm working with Sapient, leading the whole APAC region and when it comes to data. So for to go ahead and talk about the kind of sessions that we'll be having in next Tuesdays and Thursdays. So this would be the most difficult course that you guys have done in your digital marketing course curriculum. I would focus a lot on practical assignments. I will go ahead and focus a lot on practical implementation of things, hands-on experience. So yes, there would be theory, but my complete focus would be to go ahead and give you all a practical uh, view of everything. And I would expect all of you guys to go ahead, go through the case, the presentations, and everything that is on LMS by yourself. I will go ahead and take you through whatever experience that I have collected, whatever kind of problems that I have done, whatever kind of case studies that I have done, and I have replicated on my own website. And I will go ahead and make sure that all of you do go ahead and work on business problems rather than just go ahead and sit back and just soak in the theory. So that would be our idea. Any question, any doubt till now? I would expect you guys to go ahead and spend at least 6 to 8 hours apart from classes, go ahead and learn and practice web analytics. This would be my expectation. I would also go ahead and give you all access to my analytics account so that you guys can actually go ahead and practice with real time data. All right, everyone? Any question? Thanks, Abhishek. Thanks, Sham. Thanks, Sham. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's go ahead and let's start. So before I actually go ahead and talk about the nuances of web analytics, start taking you through the deeper terms and terminologies and what does it mean. Let's go ahead and understand why analytics is important. And we do have a mathematics professor over here, so I really do not need to go ahead and tell you guys about what is the power of mathematics. I'll just try to go ahead and tell you the kind of now how we need to go ahead and understand the numbers and why is it so important for us specifically in the digital world. So before I go ahead and, like I said, before I go ahead and take a deeper dive, let's go ahead and understand why analytics is so very important in the digital world. So let's go ahead and take a small example in the class. Suppose you want to buy a bottle of Coke. You guys want a bottle of Coke. You go to a store. The shopkeeper tells you that they are out of Coke. Shopkeeper tells you that they are out of Coke. So my question to you guys is, what would you do next? So there are two options. Either you go for a substitute drink or you go to a next shop. So tell me what you're going to do. So Ashwini is going to a next shop, okay? Supriya is going for another option, a substitute drink. Okay. Shailesh is again going to another shop. Abhishek, what would you do, Abhishek? Buy some other drink, Rahul. Reena is going to next shop. Abhishek is again going to next shop. Okay. All right. Great. So tell me something. All of you who are going to next shop, you guys are not from Delhi, are you guys? All of you who are going to next shop, you guys are not from Delhi, right? You know the biggest problem of Delhi? I mean, it's Arvind Kejriwal, but still, what is the biggest problem of Delhi? I mean, second biggest problem of Delhi? Distances. Okay. People don't go to the next shop. Okay. You know, parking. Yeah, absolutely fantastic parking. You know, our middle class India has two kinds of clothes: casual wear clothes and party wear clothes. So one set of clothes we only wear when we are going to any kind of function, specifically in our father's side, our aunts and all that, because we want to go ahead and show off. Similarly, people in Delhi have two kinds of cars: one casual car, second party going cars. So we are the only city of the world where people actually go ahead and kill for parking. There is absolutely no chance in hell that I am going to a store, park my car over there, and the shopkeeper tells me that they are out of coke. I take my car out of there, go to another shop, hunt for parking space, and again have the whole ordeal all over again. Party cars would be rented. Yeah, maybe in US, but not in India. You know, in India we have one guy would be having an Audi and a Maruti Swift just so he can actually go to his office and college and all those kind of things. So the point that I'm trying to make over here is that when we are in a physical world, in a real world, the brick and mortar world, we have made an investment of time and effort. So when we go to a store, there are a lot of times when we go to a store, we want to buy a specific kind of a white shirt. We are somehow not able to go and find it in the store. We buy a substitute. Have you guys done that ever? You go out to buy something, but then you are not able to go and locate that. So you ended up buying something else, a close enough substitute, right? Because you have made an investment of time and effort. But now let's go ahead and think about the online world. You go to Amazon.in, you are looking for some pair of shoes. Amazon doesn't have those shoes. What would you do? Absolutely, you will go to Flipkart. Absolutely right, Ashmi. You will go ahead and order something else. At the same time, if you are ordering at Zomato, if a particular restaurant doesn't have that, you will go ahead and order from some other restaurant, right? Online is different. You will go to Flipkart, you will go to Snapdeal, you will go to Mintra because you have not made any investment of time and effort. You are probably being a potato on a lazy Sunday afternoon, scanning Flipkart or scanning Amazon for a particular kind of shoes. So there is no cost of switching. Problem with online world, the very first problem with online world is zero loyalty. Right, everyone? The biggest problem of online world is absolutely right, Ashmi. Everything is available at the press of a button. Zero loyalty. Now let's go ahead and talk about the second biggest problem of the online world. Tell me something. About how long would you wait for a page open before you click on refresh button or close the window or go to another website? How many seconds? AJ, Alvon, Amit, how many seconds? 10 to 13 seconds. Pratik, 10 seconds. Why? Wow. This is amazing. You know, Supriya, you are probably modern day Gautam Buddha. Ashwini, you are 20 seconds. You are definitely modern day Gautam Buddha. You are like reincarnation of Dalai Lama already. You guys are pretty amazing that you guys are ready to wait for 10 to 20 seconds. 2 seconds, Pooja. Yeah, now we have Millennials speaking up, right? So the second point that I'm trying to make over here is, which you can actually go and see for yourself, everyone, that in digital world we have zero patience. Industry standard to go ahead and load a page is around 3 to 4 seconds. Industry standard, and this time is falling every single year. So we have zero loyalty and zero patience. So these are the two biggest problem in our digital world. And this is exactly why analytics is so very important in our digital world. What it practically means is that I need to go ahead and understand what my customers want before they have told me about it within first 5 seconds, else I have lost their business. Make sense to everyone? So, Abhishek, whereas I do agree that there can be some loyalty for some bigger brands, but even then the loyalty is not high enough. There are so, in fact, in a country like India, we have so many choices that we can actually go for and switch from one shop to the other very, very easily. And all these things compound the need of analytics in our digital world. And this is why digital world has a dire need of analytics. We need to go on and understand what we can do with the data. And now the next question that you guys should go ahead and ask me is, all right, Kunal, I do understand that analytics is very important and I need to go and understand what my customer needs before they have told me about it. But how can I do it just with a bit of data coming into us? How can I go ahead and answer what my customer needs just by looking into their data? How is it even possible? So let me just go ahead and give you a couple of examples. So, do you guys know about the store called Target? Let me just show you something. So, those of you who don't know, this is what Target looks like. It's like a better version of Walmart, you can say. You can buy everything from there, from grocery items, clothes, pins, pretty much everything out in one store. So this is what Target actually looks like. So this is what happened some years ago at Target, that a 50-year-old guy came down to Target shouting at the top of his lungs, asking to go meet their manager. So when the manager came in, this guy said, you know what? I'm going to sue you because you guys are corrupting my 15-year-old daughter. Absolutely right, Ashwini. So manager got a little worried what exactly happened. So he started ask all these kind of questions to this guy. What exactly is going on? How are we spoiling your 15-year-old daughter? This guy told this manager that you guys are sending baby food, coupon items, pregnancy related product offers to my 15-year-old daughter, and you are spoiling her, you are corrupting her. You are putting all these thoughts in her head when she should be going ahead and studying and just thinking about her college and her school. And you guys are corrupting her. So this is why I'm going to go ahead and sue you guys. So this target manager got worried and he went back to his marketing team to understand what exactly is going on. And to his horror, he found out that all this is a very sophisticated, targeted campaign. This is not a random by chance action, but this is a very targeted, very sophisticated, targeted campaign that has been going on. In fact, Target is having a pregnancy propensity algorithm in the background, a mathematical equation which can predict the probability of a person being pregnant on the basis of their purchase of last 3 weeks. And as it turned out, this girl showcased a probability of 80% of being pregnant. And guess what? She was pregnant. So what it means is that Target came to know about it before her father did. And how? just by looking into what she's trying to buy, what she has been trying to go for, and look into what all different products that she's buying putting in her cart. Just by looking into all this information, they were able to predict whether she is going to be pregnant or not. And this is the power of data, guys. And I want you guys to go and understand this thing really, really well. And at this point of time, even if it is surprising to you guys, just think about it. The best data analyst that you have ever come across, and I tell you who it would be. The best data analyst that you have ever come across is probably your mother or your wife or your girlfriend, depending upon which life stage that you are in. And I will tell you why. Because just think about it. We guys go all dumb whenever we are talking to our in laws. We just don't know how to go and talk to our in laws. Whereas our mothers, our wives, they actually can go ahead and hold a conversation with a variety of people. They can go ahead and ask, okay, how's your son? He got married last year, or how's your son? How's our studies going on now? He's in class 5. It must be difficult for you. Or you had your marriage anniversary last week. How was it? And all these kind of things. Now think about it. What they are trying to do. They are trying to go ahead and they have all this data in their head, and they are trying to go ahead and reflect on that data, go ahead and extract insight, and they have meaningful conversations on the basis of these insights, right? This is what all these people do. In fact, this is all of us do. Whenever we are trying to go ahead and get a gift for one of our best friends, for our girlfriend, for our spouse, this is what we try to do. We try to go ahead and think about all the historical conversations that we have had with them, what they like, what they don't, what they need, what they don't. And then we try to go ahead and give them a gift accordingly. Right, everyone? Sham, Supriya, Yojana, we all do that, right? So this is exactly what web analytics is all about. And all we have to do is inculcate the same best practices into our digital world to go ahead and understand what our customers want from their actions. If I can go ahead and understand where they are clicking, which are the keywords that they are using to come on my website, which are the different banners that they go ahead and click on my website, I will be able to go ahead and have a very good idea about what they like, what they don't, what they need right now, and what they might be needing 3 weeks or 2 months or 5 years down the line. And this is exactly what we will try to go ahead and do in next 4 sessions. Go ahead and collect all this information, get meaningful insights out of it, and then go ahead and act upon it. And this is exactly what analytics is all about. This is exactly what web analytics is all about. All right? Sure, Supriya, let me know. Yeah, sure, Supriya. Go ahead. Unmute yourself. I cannot hear you, Supriya. Can you guys hear her? Yeah, sure, Supriya. Go ahead. By the way, whatever notes that I'm making in my notepad, I will go ahead and forward it to you guys. So you don't have to go ahead and write anything. All right. So let me just go ahead and start. Maybe she can. Oh, she has typed a question. So when we say we see what kind of keywords people use to land on our page. So Supriya, very honestly, Google does not share its natural search keywords with Google Analytics anymore. But we can actually go ahead and see what are the paid keywords that people have used to go and come on our website. What are the different campaigns that people have clicked on to go ahead and come on our website? What are the email campaigns, social media campaigns, any other banners that they might have clicked on to come on our website? So all this information can be used. Great. So before I go ahead any further and start talking about the nuances of web analytics, tell me something. What is a photon? Remember chapter 10, class 8? Is it? Absolutely. It's a particle of light. Yes. Light travels in a very small packets of in the form of very small packets of energy called as photons. This is how light travels. It's a brilliant theory. You should go ahead and read it. This is why it behaves both as wave and matter. But anyways, similarly, information on internet travels in the form of very small data packets. Information does not travel as a stream of data but very small data packets. So information from one computer to the other computer, from one computer to the other server, goes in form of very small data packets. So this is how information travels on internet. Now, so these data packets can be viewed as Indian postcards. How many of you remember Indian postcards or any kind of a postcard for that matter? Not just Indian, but any postcard. You know how postcard has a space for stamp, address of the receiver, message, address of the person who's sending, so all these kind of things, right? So similarly, every data packet has certain headers. What are these headers for? Headers are for to go ahead and contain the information related to the operating system of the computer. OS version, operating system version of the computer. Browser, browser version. Language, IP address, screen resolution, width of the browser, height of the browser. All these information are a part of these data packets. Every data packet needs to have all these headers. Does it make sense to everyone? Absolutely right, Shailesh. TCP/IP protocol. Right, Ashwini. Yes, size of the packets and all these kind of things. Now, what it means? It means that if I open flipkart.com on my computer, what is going to happen? Data packets from my computer will go to flipkart.com web server, right? This is what is going to happen because information travels in the form of data packets. When I open flipkart.com, request from my computer will go to flipkart.com web server. So which means data packets from my computer will go to flipkart.com web server. Does it make sense to everyone? Absolutely right, Ashwini. And the whole idea would be to go and collect all this information. This thing makes sense to everyone? Reena, Rahul, Pratik, Pooja, Yojana, Aksha, Almon. Absolutely right. So what it means is that Flipkart.com web server will have information regarding my all these details. That is my operating system version, and all these kind of things. And I will show it to you everything. Abhishek, you will go and see all these data packets and everything. This thing makes sense to everyone? Pratik, Rahul, Abhishek? Great. Now tell me something. What is the core competence of Flipkart.com, or for that matter, Amazon.in? What is their core competency? Very important, Yojana. I'll tell you why. It's an online store, yes. So they are an online marketplace. Their core competency is to go ahead and have a platform where buyers and sellers can come together and have their transactions, right? Their core product is platform where buyers and sellers come together. Make sense to everyone? Now tell me something. You all would be having different kind of help at home. Some of you might be having maids at home. Some of you might be having cooks at home. Some of you might be having car mechanics to who actually go and help you fix your cars. There are people who actually go and help you change the oil, change the tires of your car, and all these kind of things, right? All of you do have these kind of help around you. Does it mean that you cannot cook, or you cannot wash your dishes, or you cannot go ahead and change the tires, or you cannot go ahead and change the oil of your car? Does it mean that you cannot do all these things? Absolutely. So what you try to do is, Ashwini, you try to go ahead and outsource all these kind of things. You have decided that your core competency is something else. And you would rather go ahead and invest your time in refining your core competency to go ahead and skill up your core competency and then outsource these jobs to somebody else. This is what all we do. It's something that all of us do. We have somebody else take care of all these things, whereas we go ahead and spend our time in honing our core competencies. So similarly, what Flipkart.com can do is Flipkart.com can implement Google Analytics on their website, which can collect data and showcase the same in meaningful reports. Now Flipkart.com will not have to go and worry about collecting all this data, looking into all these various segments, and then going ahead and getting the insight out of it. They can actually go and look into the Google Analytics reports and go ahead and get meaningful information out of it. Does it make sense to everyone? Now the next question is, Kunal, how exactly Google Analytics is implemented? What do you mean by implementing Google Analytics? So when I say implementing Google Analytics, what I mean is implementation, placing a small JavaScript snippet on the web, on each and every web page that we want to track. Okay? This code will create a small 1 by 1 pixel image on the top right corner of the page. This image is placed on the web page but stored on the GS server, that is Google Analytics server. Now there's a lot of information over here and I would want to go ahead and unpack it little by little. But before I do that, just go ahead and tell you a bit more about this image. This image is transparent, so no one can see it. Okay, so what does all this mean? What it means is that there will be a very small JavaScript code provided by Google Analytics. This code, when placed on the web page, creates a very small 1 by 1 pixel image on the top right corner. So if I go ahead and open flipkart.com, let's say, now when I go ahead and implement Google Analytics code on this particular page, it creates a very small 1 by 1 pixel on the top right corner of this page. Very small image. And since this image is transparent, so no one can see it anyway. Now, the thing about this image is that it is stored on the web page, but it is placed on the web page but stored on GA server, that is Google Analytics server. What it means is that it's just like placing a cup on a tray. Just think about putting a cup on a tray. Now, when you pull this tray, your pull force will also act upon this cup, right? So let's say there are 6 cups on this white tray. When I pull this tray, my force will also act upon these 6 cups. Yes, no, maybe. Great. Now think about it this way. I have placed this image on the web page but stored on GS server. What it means? It means when I request for this web page, I will also send a request for this image, right? My web page request will go to flipkart.com server. My image request will go to which server? Which server would it go to? Absolutely right, Pooja. It will go to my GA server. Makes sense to everyone? Thanks, Supriya. Because this image is stored on GA server, right, everyone? Saurabh, makes sense? Yojana, Bhanudas, I'll tell you all about it, Shanish. Don't worry. This thing is clear to you? This act of sending my data to GA server is called as this image request is called as a hit or an interaction. Make sense to everyone? Just to go ahead and give you an example, go to page A of flipkart.com at 1 p.m. Then I go to page B of flipkart.com at 1:10 p.m. How many hits over here? Absolutely right. Does it make sense to everyone? Rahul, Bhavna, excuse me, Bhanudas, Arvind, make sense? Sorry, yaar, if you guys think that I am trying to single you out by taking your name. I remember my teacher used to do the same. My chemistry teacher in school used to do the same, and I used to hate her. I used to hate her to the core. She used to do this. She used to ask us to go ahead and read a chapter in the class, and just in the middle of nowhere, she would just go and ask me, Okay, Kunal Mehta, tell me which paragraph are we reading? And boy, I used to hate her. But yes, it helps me to go ahead and make sure that all of us are on the same page. So I'm sorry if you guys think that I'm torturing you. I'm just trying to make sure that we are able to go ahead and understand everything. Yeah, how about we are turning the tables around on Ashwini this time, right? He must be doing the same thing with his students. Great. So, thanks, guys. So, two hits over here. Now, this is called as a hit. This is how Google Analytics actually collects data within its platform, process it, and shows it to us. All right. The second biggest concept, or the second most important concept of Google Analytics is sessions. Let's go and understand what sessions are. Sessions are nothing but collection of hits till the time one of these conditions are met. What are these conditions? Number one, 30 minutes of continuous inactivity. There has been a 30 minutes of continuous inactivity. Number two, after midnight. Number three, when source is changed. So my session would expire when any of these three conditions are met. So let me just go ahead and explain it to you one by one in detail. So let's go ahead and take the first one, which means after 30 minutes of continuous inactivity. Let's say I go to flipkart.com at 1 a.m. Sorry, 1 p.m. Then, sorry, flipkart.com page B. Now I go to flipkart.com page B at 1:10 p.m. Now I go to flipkart.com page C at 1:35 p.m. Tell me guys, how many hits over here? Thank you so much. How many sessions? There would be one session. Why one session? Because there has, what is the inactivity period over here? One session, Shailesh. What is the inactivity period between page A and page B? 10 minutes. Now, what is the inactivity between period between page B and page C? 25 minutes. Has there been a case where we had a continuous inactivity of 30 minutes? Hence, three hits and one session. Does it make sense to everyone? No worries. Now let's go and continue with the same example, okay? Good question, Reena. Let's go ahead and look into Reena's example. Now let's say I close my browser at 1:40 p.m. I restart my browser and go to flipkart.com page A at 1:50 p.m. How many hits in total? Four hits in total, right? Three from earlier and one over here. Four hits in total. AJ, Abhishek, Ashwini, Reena, makes sense to everyone? Aksha, how about sessions? Sessions would still be one. Does not matter, Supriya. So if the inactivity period is less than 30 minutes, even if you close your browser, you shut down your computer, it will not expire your session. What is the inactivity period over here? 15 minutes, right? From 135 to 150, 15 minutes. Even if you log out Yojana, does not matter. Since my inactivity period is less than 30 minutes, it would be the same session. Does it make sense to everyone? Shailesh, Saurabh, Shyam, Bhavna, Bhanudas. Four hits. Yes, four hits is correct. Session would be only one. Ashwini Kumar, makes sense? Four hits are AJ. Okay. Page A at 1 p.m. Page B at 1:10 p.m. Page C at 1:35 p.m. and page A at 1:50 p.m. Four hits, right? So one, two, three, and this one's four. Closing the browser is not a hit, right? I'm not sending any information to Flipkart.com or to Google Analytics. Make sense, AJ? Super. Any other question, guys? And I will go ahead and talk about Facebook as well, what they try to do. And I will talk about that as well, Shailesh. I will talk about all these kind of questions. This thing makes sense. Any question on whatever we have studied till now? Great. Now, what it also means is that if I go to page B of Flipkart.com at 2:30 p.m., how many hits in total? Ashwini sir, what do you think? So 4 plus 1, 5, 5 hits, right everyone? 4 plus 1, 5 hits. Absolutely right, Ashwini. And how many sessions? Two sessions, right. Everyone has got this part right. 5 hits, two sessions. Anyone having a question over here? Why two sessions? Because why two sessions, anyone? Who can tell me why two sessions? Absolutely. Now, this time around, my time gap was, my inactivity period was of 40 minutes. Make sense, Abhishek? Yes, you are right, Abhishek. If in place of 2:30 I had 2:15, it would have been the same session. Right now, five hits in two sessions. If this thing is clear, then we can move further. Remember, closing of browser, shutting down of system has no impact on your sessions, even if it's a different page. Yes. If the time limit is the inactivity period is less than 30 minutes, it would be the same session. Make sense, Abhishek? Okay, let's go and talk about after midnight. What does it mean? So let's say I go to page A of flipkart.com at 11:55 p.m. I'll go and talk about all those things, AJ. What will happen in change of browser? I go to page B of flipkart.com at 12:05 a.m. How many hits in total? Thank you so much, Ashwini. Two hits in total, right? Super. How many sessions? Two sessions. Because as soon as I go ahead and cross midnight, my session would expire. As you guys can see that I have crossed my midnight over here, my session has expired. Make sense to everyone? Number three, and source is changed. What does it mean? Let's go and understand this thing as well. So I click on email campaign, land on page A of flipkart.com at 1 p.m. Now I click on search engine result to land on page B of flipkart.com at 1:10 p.m. Now you guys see that I am not, and this is a very good question, Reena. I will come to that. Give me just a few minutes. Now I went to page A at 1 p.m. and page B at 1:10 p.m. The time gap is less than 30 minutes, right? At the same time, I'm not even crossing the midnight. But even then my session would expire. Why? Because source of the session earlier was an email campaign and now it's a search engine result. So as my source has changed, my session would expire. Make sense to everyone? Absolutely right, Ashwin. Even though it's the same page, even then, AJ, if my source has changed, my session would expire. Even if I go to page A of Flipkart.com after clicking on search engine result, even then my session would expire. Great. At this point of time, Srina asked a very pertinent question. Kunal, when you talked about midnight, whose midnight are we talking about? Are we talking about the midnight of the company or midnight of the user? Whose midnight is it? Absolutely right, Abhishek. So while creating the Google Analytics account, we put our time zone over there. So according to the time zone selected while creating GA account. Make sense to Rina? Rina, does it make sense to you? How to go ahead and create the account, how to go ahead and do all these things, we will go ahead and talk about it in next session, okay? But according to the time zone that we have selected while creating the account, according to that time zone, whenever we go and cross the midnight, my sessions would expire. Okay, Shailesh. So let's go ahead and understand what Shailesh is asking. Let me go ahead and put his question right over here. So let's say what Shailesh is asking is I clicked on email campaign to come on page A of Flipkart.com. What's my source over here? Yeah, super. Now in the next tab of Google Analytics, I clicked on search engine result to go to page B of Flipkart.com. What is the source over here? Search or Google search engine or whatever, right? Now I go back to the previous tab. I go ahead and click on something. Let's say I've come directly over here by typing flipkart.com and then I have searched for, let's say, black t-shirt Flipkart. I've come to this particular page. Now I go back to the previous tab. Go ahead and click on this. Watch what will happen. This is what your question is, Shailesh, right? Absolutely right, Ashwin. So it will not overwrite my my source. Is it going to overwrite my source? Because I'm not coming from outside anywhere, right, Shailesh? Does it make sense to you, Shailesh? My source is not getting changed. My source is same search. When I go ahead and click on the third page, I click on page C from page A. My source still remains untouched. My source does not change, so it is still search. Hence, it would be hits would be 3 and sessions would be. Does it make sense, Shailesh? Does it make sense to everyone? Always think from this logic. Is it going to overwrite my source or not? Doesn't matter, Shailesh. My source was changed when I clicked on page B. My source was overwritten as search. From email to search is changed when I clicked on page B. Then even if I from this page A I'm clicking on page C, my source is not getting overwritten. Right, Shailesh? Absolutely right, Shailesh. When you land on the website, that is the time when your source is given. Once you have already landed on your website, then there is no source. All right. So this is the concept of sessions. Last and most important topic that we have to do before we actually go and start looking into the problems is user. Guys, I hope that this is not getting overwhelming or not too tiring, right? I know it's theory and it might get tiring. I hope that all of you are able to follow it. It's not too much of information. Prateek, Rahul, Supriya, Yojana, all good? Super. Thanks, Saurabh. Shruti, Bhanudas, Bhavna, all good now? AJ, Abhishek, great. Now, who is a user? User is a person who is coming on our digital platform. Anyone who comes on our digital platform is our user. Now, DA identifies user with the help of a client ID. Now, what is a client ID? Client ID is a unique ID given by DA. All. Let's go ahead and exemplify it. Let's go and see what exactly is going on in the background. So let's say I come to flipkart.com for the very first time, where Google Analytics is already implemented. Now what will happen? DA will check if I have a client ID. If I'm coming for the very first time, would it be able to go and get the client ID? Would I be having the client ID? Absolutely right. I won't be having a client ID. So it will not be, it won't be able to go and find it. Now GA will create a client ID for me. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now put it in a cookie and store this cookie in a in my local system. Right, Ashwin? Does it make sense to everyone? Now, what cookies are, I will go ahead and talk about now. Now, what is a cookie? Let's go ahead and understand that. So, cookie is a very small computer script which is used to store some value for a specific period of time. In case of Google Analytics, this cookie contains a unique client ID stored for 2 years. Does it make sense to everyone? What else is unique about? Okay, AJ, it's not clear. So AJ, a cookie is nothing but a very small computer program. So for example, when I come to to Flipkart.com where Google Analytics is implemented, it will create a client ID for me, store it in a cookie, that is, put it in this computer program, and put this cookie in my local system. So cookies are always stored in local system and are browser based. No, they are not server side cookies, they are client side cookies. They are Pratik, cache is different, cache is kind of a memory. So Abhishek, this cookie is used to store the client ID. So I will let me go ahead and exemplify it a bit more. Let's say next day I again come to flipkart.com. Now GA will again check if I have a client ID. Would it be able to find the client ID? AJ, what do you think? Would it be able to find the client ID? How would it be able to find the client ID? Absolutely from the cookie. So Abhishek, what is a client ID? A client ID is a unique ID given by Google Analytics to every user. Does it make sense, Abhishek? This client ID is stored in a cookie. So as I come back to the website, GA will check if I have a cookie. if I have my client ID cookie. As soon as it finds my client ID cookie, it will find my client ID and it will record all my transactions against that particular client ID. So you can make the expiration period for any time. Uh, Abhishek, it can be 2 years, it can be 5 years, it can be 7 years, but Google Analytics use it for 2 years. Yes, it is changeable, Abhishek. Absolutely, Rahul. And I will come to all these questions. How is it website specific? We will go ahead and talk about all these things, okay? This thing makes sense to everyone? Now, think about it very carefully and then answer, okay? Say, my wife uses my computer, go to flipkart.com. GA will check if there is a client ID. Would it be able to find a client ID? No, AJ, it's not recent. It has been there all this time. Yes, it will go ahead and find the client ID. What client ID would it find? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when I go ahead and check the reports, it will go ahead. How many users would it show? One. So what it means is that me and my wife would be clubbed as one user. Does it make sense? Now at the same time, I also told you that cookies stored in local system and they are browser based. What it means? Next time I use Internet Explorer, go to flipkart.com from my laptop. Yeah, let's say last time I used Chrome. This time I used IE to go to flipkart.com from my laptop. It will check if I have a client ID. Would it be able to find the client ID? No, it wouldn't. Why? Because cookies are always browser based. My browser changed from Chrome to IE. Hence, it will not be able to go and find the client ID. Does it make sense to everyone? Abhishek, yes, this is what it does. It tries to go and remember your settings. So what it will do, GA will allocate a new client ID for me. It's 56789. So what it means that I myself can be classified as two users if I go ahead and use different browsers. Does it make sense to everyone? So me and my wife can be classified as the same user if we are using the same browser and same system, whereas me myself can be classified as two different users if I'm using two different browsers. So at this point of time, your question should be, Kunal, it means that my data is not accurate. How can I go ahead and do any analysis on my inaccurate data? Right, everyone? This will come into your mind. Means the data is not accurate. Two people getting recognized as the same user. One user is getting classified into two different users. Means the data is not accurate. Now tell me something. Two users would mean two different sessions. Yes, Reena. If it's the same user, it can be the same session, but two different users would definitely mean two different sessions. Now tell me something. How many of you use different browsers to go to the same website? Do you guys use two browsers to go to the same website? Until unless you are having a problem opening a website. That is the only time when you go ahead and check with a different browser. अरे यार कहीं मेरा browser में तो issue नहीं है, to ensure that there is no issue with the browser. Else you all have one favorite browser, right? So either Firefox or Chrome. Nobody has Internet Explorer as favorite browser, right? So absolutely right, Ashwin. Nowadays I is only used to download Chrome. Else there is no use of IE. Now at the very same time, tell me. Now this is a question to all married guys. How many of you use you? How many of you let your wife use your laptop? I mean, there are. I know that husbands don't let their wives use their laptop or their mobile phones. They get all nervous, right? Right, Ashwini. So all those husbands who let their wives use their laptop, it is because they all use incognito mode, right? There are only two kinds of husbands: those who cheat, and second, those who never get caught. Is it so, Pooja? So, but anyways, all jokes apart. See, no matter how much I would want to go ahead and portray otherwise, but the fact remains the same that me and my wife belong to the same segment. Even which, even when we are two different people, even if we think that we think very differently, but we belong to the same segment. And marketing is always done on the basis of segments, not for individuals, but for segments. Absolutely right, Yojana. Does it make sense to everyone? We always go ahead and analyze data for segments, not for individuals, but for segments. And me and my wife, our buying behavior, our buying pattern, our product categories, our product prices would more or less remain similar. It wouldn't be too different, right? So therefore, even when the data is not accurate, even then it works for us because we are always going ahead and targeting segments. Any question over here? What if we use incognito mode? Very good question, Rina. Saurabh, I'll come to that as well. Can you all read this incognito message over here? Rina, can you read it? All right, now read it and now let me know what you understand out of it. What it means is that your cookies won't be stored. It does not mean that it will not be created. So everything is getting tracked. So the only thing is that your cookies won't be stored. So next time when you go and close the browser and come back again, you will be counted as a new user. But it does not mean that the cookies will not be created and your data will not be tracked. Does it make sense to everyone? Go ahead, Abhishek. Even the websites that you're surfing, even they know it, it's you. This is what you're doing. Your IT guys would know it for sure because everything is in weblogs. But your own system's cookies would be created, would be deleted. So next time when you go and use the same system to go to the same website, you will be counted as a new user. Absolutely right, Ashwin. The data is all getting recorded, Pooja. Data is getting recorded. See, Abhishek, the whole point of incognito mode is that your cookies and history would be deleted. It will not be stored on your computer. It does not mean that it will not be stored on ISP or will not be stored on your company's router or will not be stored on on Google Analytics and all that. It just means that anyone else who's using your computer will not be able to go and see it. That's about it. So you can practically kind of it is a tool for 15-year-old guys. Nobody else. So, Abhishek, the whole idea of cookies to go ahead and start tracking, not to identify the user. See, again, this is very, very important for all of us to go ahead and understand, guys. With new laws coming into the picture, this becomes even more important. We are not going to go ahead and store any personally identifiable information. We are not going to store the names. We are not going to store the phone numbers, the Aadhaar numbers, the social security numbers, and any of these things. We are not doing any individual targeting. Does it make sense, Abhishek? We are not doing any individual targeting. Think about a company like Walmart. There are millions of customers who are coming on their website every single day. They cannot go ahead and target for every single person. They are targeting for segments. People who have clicked on this product and then did not buy, go ahead and showcase this offer to them. So we are always going ahead and targeting segments, never individuals. Rina, again, the idea is about segments, not individual users. So I can actually go ahead and see what this particular segment is doing. Make sense, Rina? And then tell me how many people actually go ahead and use incognito mode, Rina? How many people actually go ahead and delete their cookies every month? How many people actually go ahead and delete their cookies regularly over here? You do, Abhishek? How many else? You also do, Ashmi? Okay. There are a lot of people who actually go ahead and delete their cookies. I need to go ahead and have a session with you guys to understand what you guys are doing. But anyways, I don't think that there are too many people who are actually going ahead and deleting cookies nowadays. There used to be a time when I used to do it because my computer used to go ahead and get slow and all that. But nowadays I'm having like 16 GB of RAM, 250 MB of hard drive. I don't really go ahead and delete my cookies anymore. There was a time when I had like 10 GB of RAM and 256 MB of 10 GB of hard drive and 256 MB of RAM. At that time, I used to go and do that. Nowadays, not many people do that. And even if there is, I do understand that there is a problem with accuracy. But if you guys go ahead and see, it won't be that big of a number. It would be around 5 to 7% of inaccuracy, and that's okay. If 90% of my data is accurate, I can actually go and do very good trend analysis on that data. Does it make sense to everyone? Rina, does it answer your question? Okay. So I know that it's almost 9:30 over here, but I just want to go ahead and show you one report just to go ahead and showcase the power of analytics to all of you. I hope that we do have 5 minutes that we can spare. We can stretch by 5 minutes or so. All this is done on the basis of segmentation, Abhishek, not on individual users, and we will go ahead and do all these things in our next four sessions. All this is done on segmentation. That segment who have done this, didn't do that, go and showcase these offers. We will go and talk about all these things. Thanks everyone. Let me just go ahead and show you one report. So guys, this is, I hope all of you can see a report on my screen where you can see 27 conversions, $5,500 that I have made, 0.23% of conversion rate. Can you all see this? Great. So this is a newsletter subscription on my website. So the way it is that when people come on my homepage, they can go to read a sample article of my newsletter. If they like this article, they can subscribe for my newsletter, right? Does it make sense to everyone? Land on my homepage, see a sample article, and if you like it, you subscribe for the newsletter. And my newsletter is not free of cost. As you guys can see, I have made $5,500 from its subscription. Now, my problem is that my conversion rate is very less. And I'm asking this question to you. As an analyst, can you guys help me to go ahead and improve my conversion rate? Can you go and help me to understand what the problem is over here? Can you please help me understand what could be the problem over here? Yes, my abandonment rate is very high. Okay, my core target audience is not attracted. Okay, subscription charges is very high. Okay, my target audience I have to go and define. Let's number people coming to the page. Okay, again my targeting audience is a problem. My low engagement. Okay, let me try to do something. Let me try to go ahead and show you the same data in a different visualization. Okay, same data but in a different visualization. Can you all see a funnel visualization over here? Let me know once you all can see a funnel report kind of a thing. AJ, can you see it now? Absolutely right. So when you see this kind of a report, by the way, there are two kinds of visualizations which are very, very important as a marketer. Number one, trend line, and number two, funnel visualization. Now, when I go ahead and see this kind of a visualization, instantly I would understand my problem is not over here, my final conversion rate. This is not the problem. My problem is right over here, that not enough people are going to read article 1. I've got 7,000 sessions on my homepage, but not enough are going to read article 1, because people who read article 1, 53% of times they have got converted. So what it means is that my article 1 content is fantastic. Does it make sense to everyone? Now, when you see this kind of, absolutely right, Abhishek, when you see this kind of data, now you will come to know, okay, Kunal, you know what? You need to go ahead and put article one more prominently on your homepage. It seems like that people are not able to go and find it. Or you know what, Kunal, absolutely right, Abhishek. You have to go and put it banners of article one on your homepage, because again, people should be able to go and locate it very easily. Or Kunal, you need to go and run campaigns where Article 1 acts as a landing page, where people directly come on my Article 1 page, read more articles, more people would read this article, and more conversions would there be. Does it make sense to everyone? Incentivizes, yes, click here. Something that actually speaks out loud that people go and read more and more article 1, because better readership would definitely go for it and result in better conversion, because people who read my article more around 54% of times they actually go and convert. Does it make sense to everyone? Does it sound interesting? And this is what we are going to do in our sessions. This is just one of the problems that I have shown you. We will go ahead, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and create a Google Drive. I will go ahead and create a folder for all of us. And I will go ahead and put our case studies over there. I will go ahead and put all our study material and my notepad over there, so that you, once you are actually going through the recording once again, you can refer to the notepad as well if you want. There is a lot of material on your LMS as well. Do go through that as well. If there's any problem that you have, you can always reach out to me as well. Let me go ahead and give you my contact details over here in the notepad itself. Actually, that assignment would be on your LMS. This is my phone number and this is my email. Okay. Let me just go ahead and save this thing real quick. Nine, section one. And let me go ahead and also share a feedback link with all of you, so that you guys can go ahead and put your feedback over there. That's important for me. Guys, if you can please put your feedback in over here, I would really, really appreciate it. In the meantime, I'm just going ahead and I'm putting a folder for all of us, and we'll go ahead and share it with you guys. This is the shared drive link. Guys, have you put your feedback over there? Sure, Arvind, I will do that. I will send across the feedback link. All right. So first, I have shared my feedback link. Again, if you guys want, I will go ahead and I'll put it once again in the chat window. And Arvind, I will go ahead and I will email it to you as well. This is the feedback link. Pooja, I'm just giving the feedback link over here. I'll tell you about this. If you can please put the feedback. Additionally, what I have done is I have created a shared drive. And this is the shared drive link. Within shared drive, I would want all of you to go and look into my screen for a minute. What I've done is I have put down this notes of our session. All these notes are over there. At the same time, I have put in a spreadsheet over here. So what I want you all to do is put your name and put your email address, preferably your Gmail address. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give you all access of Google Analytics. So all of you would be having access to my account. Okay. If you guys can go ahead and put all these details over here, by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I will give you guys access to my Google Analytics account so that all of you can actually go and play around with data as well. So though we will go ahead and create our own Google Analytics account, we will go ahead and create our own reports, but I know that in your reports, there won't be much of data to go and play around. So you guys can actually go and do all those things on my account. All right, everyone? Thank you so much, Amit. Thank you so much, everyone. It had been absolutely fantastic to be with all of you. I really, really enjoyed it. Uh, while you are putting in your email addresses, be careful not to delete somebody else's, because I can see a lot of people are actually going ahead and putting in their address. What I would recommend to you is give it a while. Go ahead, do it tomorrow, because everyone would little busy right now. So Ashwini, within the shared folder itself, there is access information Excel sheet. Over here, you can go ahead and put in your details. All right, Ashwini. Thank you so much, Supriya. Yojana. I don't know. I'll just crash probably now in 1 hour or so. All right, Arvind, I will go ahead and send across the shared drive link as well to you in the email. Okay. Let me just go ahead and copy your email address real quick. All right, everyone. Take care. Goodbye. It was wonderful interacting with you, everyone. Take care. We'll see you all on Thursday. Bye.